So I've been driving with the new minimum rate guarantees here in Minnesota for 2 weeks now. Today we're going to look at some of the upfront fares that I'm seeing and also go over the strategies that I'm implementing. Alright, so really quickly again, the new minimum rate guarantee here in Minnesota is 31 cents per minute plus $1.28 per mile when transporting a passenger. This is period 3 when transporting a passenger. Period 2 pickup mileage does not apply to this guarantee. And at the end of a 14-day period, they will take our total mileage and total time, multiply that by the rates of 31 cents and $1.28, see what that number is, and if we haven't earned that total amount, we will receive top-off payments to reach that amount. And again, these top-off payments will be calculated bi-weekly. They're not paid out weekly. And the strategies are fairly straightforward. You want long rides. And since period 2 pickup mileage is not included in the guarantee, you want short pickups. You want those pickups to be as short as possible. Anytime I see a 10+ mile ride and the pickup is less than a mile, I can't accept it fast enough. Also, I do want short pickups, but on those longer rides, those 20+ mile rides during period 3 transporting a passenger, if the pickup distance is like say 5 miles, I will sometimes accept those because those trips are so desirable. Also, I am still meticulous with my period 2 mileage, my pickup mileage. I try to shorten that mileage as best I can. Period 3 though, I'm not as concerned. If the freeway route during period 3 is a couple miles longer, but it's going to reduce the trip by a few minutes, I will take that route because I know I'm getting guaranteed a minimum rate for that mileage. I'm getting paid for that mileage. This isn't like without the minimum guarantees where I knew I wasn't going to get compensated well for that extra mileage, so I tried to keep that mileage as low as possible. It honestly feels pretty great to not be as concerned about mileage in period 3 like I have been for the last few years under upfront fares. And it takes some getting used to, but looking at the upfront fare and analyzing that does not matter as much anymore, especially on those longer trips, 10+ miles. I look at the mileage, I look at the period 3 mileage. If it's 10+ miles, I'm going to accept it. It doesn't matter what the upfront fare is because I know on those trips I'm getting guaranteed pay of at least 31 cents per minute plus $1.28 per mile. So for example, here's a $17.17 upfront fare on Lyft, and the period 3 mileage, the mileage where I'm transporting a passenger, is 21.93 miles. Again, the upfront fare was $17.17, but I look at that mileage and I know I'm going to get paid a lot more than that with the top off. On that trip alone with the guaranteed rates, I should have been paid $36.45. That's a top off of $19.28. So I look at the upfront fare and it's decent, but if I look at that period 3 mileage, I see that it's over 20 miles. I know that with the minimum guarantees, I'm going to get paid really well on that ride. And here's another one. The upfront pay on this is $19.16, but if I look at the period 3 mileage, it's 20.21 miles. It's over 20 miles. Again, $19.16 upfront fare. I should have been paid $35.29 for this ride, a top off of $16.13. Now those upfront fares from Lyft were from last week and they weren't even close to the new minimum rate guarantees, but this week, the second week, they've gotten a lot better. Here's an upfront fare of $21.16. The period 3 mileage when transporting a passenger was 14.04 miles and almost 20 minutes. And with the new minimum rate guarantee, this should have paid $23.77, a difference of about $2.61, pretty close. And here's one of the best upfront fares I saw. The upfront pay was $13.15. The period 3 mileage was 5.12 miles and nearly 14 minutes. The fare was actually priced at $10.96 with a turbo amount of $2.19. The new total with the minimum rate guarantee should have been $10.85, so this fare was actually 11 cents higher than that. So on this fare, it actually pulls $2.30 from the top off amount on my 2-week period. So I'm looking at that, it's a great upfront fare, and yes, it will pull from my total top off amount, so it's going to reduce the top off amount on those longer trips, but I'm looking at this as I'm getting an advance on that top off amount by completing this ride. I'm getting that money earlier. Now here's some examples of what I've seen on Uber this week. An upfront fare of $22.12 with period 3 distance of 17.31 miles and a duration of 31 minutes and 46 seconds. With the minimum guarantees, I should have been paid $32 for this ride, a top off of nearly $10. Also, what's cool with our ride receipts on Uber now here in Minnesota, we are given the pickup time and distance data. So you can see with this trip, it was a short pickup, 1:21 and 0.25 miles. These are the exact type of requests that I'm on the hunt for. Here's another one, $17.33 is the upfront fare. Period 3 distance is 17.17 miles and duration 16 minutes and 29 seconds. To reach the minimum guarantees, I should have been paid $27.09 for this ride. That's another top off amount of nearly $10. And one more on Uber. The upfront fare was $25.43 on this one. The period 3 distance was 20.64 miles, duration 23 minutes and 57 seconds. With the minimum rate guarantee, I should have been paid $33.84 on this ride, a top off amount of $8.41. So that's what I'm seeing here in Minnesota. I'm loving these minimum guarantees. I'm hoping this spreads nationwide. Everyone should have these prices. And yes, each market is different and the prices can't be the same in all markets, but every market should see a raise like this. And in turn, my acceptance rate on Uber has actually increased from 25% prior to the new minimum rates to 49% under the minimum rates, and this should only climb higher. And it will be interesting to see what that acceptance rate is a month from now. Also, we'll see what happens with upfront fares going forward. Again, they got better in week 2 compared to week 1, but I'm taking those initial top-off payments, they're substantial, and I'm looking at them as a ride challenge bonus on Lyft and a Quest bonus on Uber. And hopefully those upfront fares continue to raise and we don't need as much of a top-off amount. Again, going forward, I'm going to keep sharing my experience here in Minnesota with the minimum rates. I'm going to share my initial top-off payments, so make sure you're subscribed so you can see when those videos are uploaded. But what do all of you think? Again, I want these raised rates for everyone in the country. Everyone should see raised rates like these. If you've yet to download the Solo app to help you manage your rideshare business and earn more, our referral link is in the description. We also have a free newsletter, and the link to sign up for that is in the description as well. If you've yet to watch my previous video where I share my actual numbers from my first week with these minimum rates, be sure to check that one out. Thanks again for watching and drive safe. Thanks.